Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2023 Butler and Warren County Business Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name is Tom Duskalaikis. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer at Westchester Hospital, and I am a proud chair of the Butler-Warren Board for Junior Achievement. We are honored tonight to pay tribute to 4 outstanding individuals and to celebrate their contributions to our business community and to our region. We are also honored to be joined by many familiar faces of many great business leaders from our community who have helped to keep this tradition alive through the years and expand to reach further into our community. At this time, please join me in welcoming our past laureates, and I will share their names. First, I'd like to welcome Frank Furman. Frank's coming in through the back door there. Next, John Guduli. Next, we have Kathleen Klink. We also have Dave Lippard. Next, we have State Senator Stephen Wilson. Heather Sanderson Lewis. John Kirsch. And lastly, but not least, Joe Hinson. At this point, it's a pleasure to introduce Steve Lippard. He's the retired Executive Vice President of Hamilton Castor, and he is the chair of tonight's event. Steve, come on up.
I'm right here.
I'm looking at your brother.
I came around. Good evening, and thank you for attending this fabulous celebration tonight. I don't know if you're aware, but this event was planned maybe almost a year ago, and we picked the date and the venue, and of course it's a special thing to be here at Spooky Nook. But along come the Butler County Republicans and decided to hold their Lincoln Day tonight, and they invited Ron DeSantis to speak. And so I thank you, all you Democrats out there, for making this a success. So, Tom, as you mentioned earlier, tonight it's our distinct privilege to pay tribute to 4 outstanding laureates, and their careers have made a lasting impact in our community, and we are all grateful for them. First, I want to thank the laureate representatives. Each laureate picks a person to kind of get their information together and keep track of where the progress goes as we get closer to this event. So all the history, the biographies, and guest lists and all that is put together. And so we thank you for doing such an outstanding job, because we got a very great crowd tonight. So we thank you for that. And we also want to thank our reception sponsor, which is Otterbein Senior Life, for their generosity and contribution to tonight's event. Yeah. As you know, everyone's contribution makes to Junior Achievement makes a difference in the lives of students. And now it's my distinct honor to introduce our laureates that we're going to honor tonight. I'll start with Don Crane, who's counsel for Frost Brown Todd Attorneys. Over there. Next is Jim Kleingers. He's the founder and president at the Kleingers Group. And next we have Herman Sandy Sanders. I don't think anybody calls him Herman. Former president of Butler County Lumber. And last but not least, Jill Wilson, who's president and CEO of Otterbein Senior Life. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much for being here. And please allow me to add my congratulations to all of the laureates for all the amazing work that you've done in your business and in the greater community. The impact that these 4 individuals have had on the lives of so many people is going to be shared later on tonight, but it's significant, it's wonderful, and it's very much appreciated. One of the questions I get a lot is, so what's Junior Achievement doing in the community? What's happening? Where are you? What do you do? What impact do you have? Glad you asked. So we have a lot of things going on, and I want to share just a few of them with you. We have 3 pillars, 3 big things that we work on. That is financial literacy, career readiness, and entrepreneurship. And let me talk about a couple of those real quick. We recently had an event, it's called Inspire to Hire. This is a career exploration event where there's curriculum that happens ahead of time, a big event down at the convention center where students come together, interact with some 60+ employers around town, and students from Fairfield, from Mason, from Goshen, numerous other schools all around, all participated in that event. That's a great opportunity for young people to really come together, learn some things about potential careers, ask questions about what does it take to get into that career, what kind of schooling is required, and what's the big one? How much can I make? Right? So every young person wants to know, how much can I make? But that's all part of the process of helping young people understand what they're doing. Now, if you were at last year's dinner, you know I love audience participation. So this is where your part comes in. Everybody grab the program book, and in the back, there's a single page, a loose page. It's titled JA Personal Finance 2.0. I want you to pull that out. This is a high school program that really focuses on that financial literacy component of what we do. So I'm going to read this, not the whole thing. I'm going to read the program concepts. Earning money, budgeting money, establishing healthy financial relationships, saving money for larger purchases and emergencies, managing credit and debt wisely, protecting finances, shopping smartly, managing personal risk to finances, investing to grow money, using credit cards responsibly, managing debt, growing net worth. All right, now here's the real audience participation part. Show of hands. How many of you would have liked to have had maybe a little bit more of that back when you were in high school? That's what Junior Achievement is doing. Our name says what we do. We are providing these resources to young people throughout Butler, Warren counties, and all of southwestern Ohio, eastern Indiana, and northern Kentucky, and we couldn't do it without your support, and for that, I thank you very much. Thanks for being here.
So at this point, we got a lot of impressive business leaders here, but we're here to talk about the why, and what better group of individuals to talk about the why than actual students who are receiving the benefits of Junior Achievement. So it's my pleasure to introduce 2 students from Goshen High School who would like to share their experience while participating in Junior Achievement. Haley Mulvihill and Kyla Hager.
Good evening, Junior Achievement Board members, volunteers, teachers, students, and Honor Hall of Fame attendees. My name is Kyla Hager, and I am a sophomore at Goshen High School.
And I'm Haley Mulvihill, and I'm a senior at Goshen High School.
We would like first to thank you all for joining us tonight as we show the impact Junior Achievement and career and college readiness has had on students in Goshen local schools. We are honored to speak on behalf of the over 40,000 K-12 students who annually benefit from Junior Achievement programming and offerings around the Cincinnati tri-state area. JA's career readiness, financial literacy, and entrepreneurship opportunities have helped many GHS students, including me, in deciding my life after high school. In our dual credit engineering class, and we participated in the Flex Factor program, which has partnered with JA. It is project-based learning experience centered around 3 key factors: entrepreneurship, engagement with advanced technologies, familiarization with the principles of entrepreneurship, and exposure to the education and career pathways that lead into the advanced manufacturing sector. These factors correlate with JA's career readiness, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy goals. My team created a project called Little Dipper, a hydrokinetic powered device which has the most deadly toxins in the water, such as lead and arsenic, and send the data to professionals in which they would try to resolve the issue. Calculating the cost of materials, the cost of our product, our selling price, revenue, and product helped me learn more about the technical parts of the business world and become more financially literate. Financial literacy is a pivotal part of life, even if I'm not involved in entrepreneurship.
So Kyla introduced you to this program, and I'm going to talk about my experience a little bit more with that. So Junior Achievement partners and donors hosted us on several field trips, and they also served as the judges for our local presentation in this program. So my team conceptualized a product we call Pregnancy Pal, and it allows pregnant women to monitor their own pregnancy hormones throughout their 3 trimesters to help reduce the risk of maternal health care, such as early birth. The local judges selected Pregnancy Pal, so my team, to move on to the regional competition, which is actually next Friday, and we will be presenting with other teams around the tri-state area. I was also given the opportunity to present the impacts of the program during the annual Business Recognition Breakfast on March 1st. I was able to speak among 100 representatives of business partners who work with and in support of Goshen Local School District and the positive effects of JA programs and partnerships. These partnerships between education and businesses are a win-win for students and for companies that seek a quality pipeline for future employees. Because of the hands-on experience I gained through these JA-partnered college and career readiness programs, I truly feel that I am very prepared for college when I attend in the fall. Though these are just our individual experiences, there are so many other JA partnerships in the Goshen Local School District, and I'm going to share some of those. So we have a dual credit college education class that partners with JA, and this allows students who are interested in the education field in high school to go over to our elementary and middle school and actually give lessons to students and have lesson plans and learn what it's like to be a teacher before they are actually in college. So this affords high school students who are interested in education to actually get that experience. And then the Junior Achievement Financial Literacy Program, which is just coming to Goshen this year, equips our youngest high school students, so our freshmen, with foundational personal finance skills and helps them meet graduation requirements. So your average school curriculum doesn't really teach you how to fill out checks or about credit and all of that. So this actually gives students their real life skills that we were often missing. So now, with the help of JA, students are able to walk into adulthood with valuable knowledge no matter what their career pathway is. And lastly, the JA-sponsored author visits to elementary school students create a lasting impression on our young warriors and inspire them to pursue creative endeavors. We are a recent beneficiary of what JA offers, and we join an over 100-year legacy of others who have grown in their knowledge as a result of junior achievement.
Especially now, GHS students are exposed to a wide range of college and career opportunities to help students navigate the gap between their aspirations and achieving them. Back in your day, no offense, people have to walk 15 miles uphill both ways in snow just to get to the library and search through stacks and stacks of books to find information on a potential career path. Nowadays, with the help of Goshen and Junior Achievement, students can easily get help from an advisor or just do a quick Google search. JA's programs ignite a spark in young people to experience and realize the opportunities and realities of work and life in the 21st century. Goshen provides Where To Wednesdays. Where To Wednesdays are days in which our guidance counselors and college and career readiness staff engage in meetings with students to expose us to options for our future during what we call Warrior Up Bell. Once a month on Where To Wednesdays, teachers and faculty throughout the districts are encouraged to wear clothing that signifies where they went to college or their occupants before they became educators. This encourages students to ask questions and have impactful discussions with staff about potential options for their future. Also accompanying Where to Wednesdays is a newsletter that provides information about scholarships, internships, and career opportunities throughout all grades K through 12. By having both opportunities from Goshen and JA, we as students are able to be prepared for the future, whether we want to go to college, military, or trade school.
So we would like to thank you all for this opportunity to speak in front of you and share our JA experience. We would like to thank JA and their partner sponsors for supporting such a beneficial and pivotal program. And finally, we would like to thank our parents and teachers for supporting us through our educational path. Thank you and have a great evening.
COVID did a number in our community. It definitely impacted our young students. That's the future of the future of the United States. From a healthcare perspective, we are actively trying to look to identify the next generation of healthcare professionals. I think every industry is in that situation. COVID did such a number of keeping students away from socialization, keeping students away from interacting with each other and all that. Junior Achievement is an excellent vehicle to get students back on track, have them interact with healthcare professionals, and it doesn't take that much dollars to support this. So I would kindly ask for your consideration. It is important. It is important to our future. As I get old, I'm going to depend on students to take care of me, financially, healthcare-wise, and all that. It is a wise investment, so please consider. Back on script. So now we are pleased to share stories of tonight's honorees. Please direct your attention to the screen to hear the story of our first laureate.
I think Don, in listening to his story, growing up in Hamilton, thought about what it would look like to be able to help other people. Practicing law in many ways is a helping profession. Don's motivation when he started and his motivation this morning when he woke up was, how can I help my clients be everything that they can be? How can I help them get to where they want to be?
Don's been my mentor for 23 years. He's made a significant impact not only on my professional career, but also on my life.
While at Miami, I learned the golden principle of the eternal verities. The eternal verities will always prevail. Such virtues as truth, honesty, and good character will never change. No matter how people and times change, the eternal verities will never change. And those individuals that practice these virtues will always rise to the top.
From my perspective, Don's been successful because of his great judgment. His judgment is the result of the combination of his ability to see the big picture and his integrity. And those things resulted in Don being able to really make great decisions.
He saw practicing law as an opportunity to take care of his family and to take care of people in the community that he cared about.
Law is the cornerstone of a civil society. America is only as strong as its legal system, which is dependent upon fairness, equal justice, and equality for all. The law is known as a learned profession for a reason, and all that was very attractive to me as a way of life. And I'm very glad that I chose this profession.
Doesn't take more than about 10 seconds to be with Don to know that there's two loves he has outside the law firm. The first is baseball, and the second is a small little junior college up in Oxford called Miami University.
It was at Miami that I gained the confidence in my intellectual capabilities and experienced professors and coaches who taught me how to succeed, how to have a plan, to work the plan and plan for the unexpected, and how to seek perfection, but to grudgingly accept excellence.
Don's favorite things include his grandsons, baseball, and Miami University. And I imagine that his best day would be watching his grandson play baseball at Miami University.
I think at the top of the list is faith. I thank God for all of my many blessings, and I do that often. I also had loving parents that were very bright, well motivated, and worked very hard to make sure that their children were raised the right way and got the benefit of everything in life that they hoped for. I also have the blessing of a wonderful wife and wonderful children who I love beyond measure. And I've always had this desire to give back based on what I was modeled by my parents and those around me, to pay it forward as a thank you for all the wonderful blessings that I've received. And I think the great Winston Churchill said it best when he famously said, "You make a living by what you get, what you earn, but you make a life by what you give."
Don's legacy is basically walk through these halls and you'll see older lawyers, younger lawyers, administrative assistants, paralegals, all working hard to provide top-notch legal services to our clients. And that all started with Don.
I think the most important contribution that Don brought to the organization was his great leadership and his solid mentoring of every person he's worked with since I've been at Frost Brown Todd.
I learned from both parents, by their example, a strong work ethic. When they dropped me off at Miami on Labor Day in 1966, my father said, "If you work hard and do your best, you will do well." Those words of advice I've tried to follow my entire life, and they've stood me in good stead all the way.
Would you all please join in welcoming our first 2023 Hall of Fame laureate, Don Crane, to the stage. Presenting Don's award is Cynthia Johnson.
Good evening. When I said that I would do this for Don, I wasn't aware there were going to be 2 giant screens with my face on it, so maybe put that in the instructions next year, but no, I'm just teasing. My name is Cindy Johnson, and I'm very honored to be here tonight to introduce the first laureate of the night, Don Crane. Some of you may be wondering who I am and why I'm qualified to introduce such an accomplished and distinguished professional in this community who has been a servant of it for over 40 years. I was wondering this too when Don asked me to introduce him, but then I realized there was another event going on, and that probably led to a pretty short list of people available. But then I thought about it and reflected and realized I do think I'm the right person to present this award to Don. You see, I'm the youngest of Don's 3 children, so I've been around for a lot of his professional journey. I didn't think I would get at all emotional about this, but so bear with me. Except for the part that happened before I was born. I wasn't involved in that. What makes me uniquely qualified to introduce him is that I have seen him in action as a professional and can personally attest to all of the wonderful things that Joe and Scott so eloquently said in that video. Thank you to both of you, except the part about Miami. It's not a junior college, it's the best college. My dad is the consummate professional. He's who you want in your corner, advising you at your darkest hour and your most challenging time. He is wise and calm, thoughtful and fierce, intensely competitive but kind. But above all, Don is loyal and always there for those in his life, both personally and professionally, when it really matters. I can think of no greater way to honor his long career than to have him be inducted into the Hall of Fame and the communities in which he has lived and served for over 40 years. Please join me in congratulating Butler and Warren County Business Hall of Fame laureate and the best dad, papa, friend, and mentor in the world, Donnie Crane.
Well done. So do you want to present the award to the next?
Sure.
Wow, isn't she wonderful? And Scott Phillips is still sore about not being able to get into Miami. So, thank you, Cindy, for that kind introduction. And many thanks to Junior Achievement and its staff for choosing me for this special recognition. And congratulations to the other inductees tonight. I'm a very lucky man, having had the good fortune of being born to two wonderful parents in Hamilton, Ohio, and as a citizen of this great country. However, it was by the grace of God that I became a Miami Redhawk and met my wonderful wife, Susan, at Miami. 42 years ago, I was invited to join a great law firm, Frost & Jacobs. I could stand here before you for an hour, thanking all the many people and institutions for my good fortune, because I have truly lived the American dream. But tonight, I only have time to mention a few. First is my wife, Susan, who I have had the privilege of being married to for 50 years. Susan is the most humble and generous person I've ever known. Without her guidance, sacrifices, and support, I would not be here with you tonight. Another important thank you is to my law firm, Frost Brown Todd. Without the wholehearted support of FBT these past 42 years, I would never have gained the necessary experience, resources, and time to devote to my professional, community, and Miami endeavors. Our current CEO, Adam Hall, and all of his predecessors gave me the green light and the necessary financial support to grow a government representation practice from just a few attorneys in 1983 to well over 50 today. Also, I had wonderful FBT role models and mentors on how to become a successful management labor attorney and general counsel to public institutions, especially Richard Erickson, Jim Lawrence, and Bob Dimling. I also want to thank all the lawyers and staff that I've been privileged to work with these past 42 years at FBT, particularly Scott Phillips and Joe Schaller, and my legal assistant, Terry Weeks. A big thank you goes to my friends and clients at Westchester Township. Westchester was one of my early public clients in 1983. The relationship quickly grew from just labor to most of the rest of the township's legal needs. I was given this wonderful opportunity by the three trustees at the time, John Boehner, who later became our congressman, then the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives. The other two trustees were the Honorable Stephen Powell, now the longest serving judge in Butler County history, 35 years, and the late Carlos Todd, a builder and developer. I've been privileged to serve the township for the last 40 years as its counsel. I'm grateful to current trustees Ann Becker, Lee Wong, and Mark Wells, together with Township Administrator Larry Burks and Assistant Administrator Lisa Brown, for continuing this wonderful relationship. When I became Westchester's primary outside counsel in 1983, we had approximately 16,000 residents and about 3 traffic lights. Today, Westchester is home to 67,000 residents. Another 60,000 residents, or non-residents, come to Westchester to work every day in a very robust and enviable business climate. In large part, I owe a lengthy client list and much of my business and professional success to Westchester. Trustees and key administrators served as references to potential clients in those early years to help me rapidly grow a successful practice and business for Frost Brown Todd in representing public institutions and governments, schools, universities, cities, townships, counties, states, and even the federal government. I also wish to thank the 8 superintendents and over 30 elected Middletown Board of Education members who engaged me for 33 years as their general counsel, as well as 2 city managers and over 25 elected council members that appointed me for 20 years as a solicitor for Indian Hill. I would also like to thank Chamber President Joe Hinson, Westchester Administrator Larry Burks, Lakota Board of Education member Linda O'Connor, and Kemba CEO Dan Sutton for nominating me for this wonderful recognition. To be included in this special group of so many of Butler and Warren County's most notable and successful businessmen and women, many of them business icons, is truly a great honor. Lastly, I wish to acknowledge those with me tonight, my family, my colleagues from Frost Brown Todd, and Miami University President Greg Crawford, who came up tonight and brought a bevy of some of our top administrators and wonderful friends. Thank you all for sharing this wonderful evening with us. For all this, I'm extremely grateful. Thank you very much.
I was one of those kids in high school that was fairly good at math and science. And at the time, in the mid-'70s, the high school guidance counselors were big on suggesting that guys and gals that were good at math and science look into engineering. And so I decided that that might be something I'd like to do.
So 3 words to describe Jim Kleinger's, I'd say positive, his positivity, his foresight to see the opportunity where maybe you don't necessarily see it at first, and he's optimistic. Despite everything that might be going on in the world or how business is progressing here at the Kleinger's Group, he always has an optimism that he portrays to us, and he makes us feel that. That's a takeaway that we walk away with through our interactions with him.
Jim Kleinger's brings character and integrity to everything he does. And he's a man that when he finds that there's an issue that needs to be chased, he'll chase it to find a good solution.
We apply our values every day here at the Kleinger's Group. And they're our core values, and they come from Jim. When we talk about building lasting relationships or honoring our commitments to do the right thing, these are our values that we look at for our business decisions and what we're trying to do here at the Kleinger's Group. You know, those are the filter, the lens that we view the world through.
I'm kind of a simple guy, and I like to treat others how I'd like to be treated. And we preach that here at the Kleinger's Group all the time. We care about our people, we care about our clients, and we try to do the things that you would expect to do to deliver a great client experience.
Jim makes our community better in so many different ways. He volunteers for Fenwick High School, the Boy Scouts of America, gets very involved in his trade, which is civil engineering.
I'm very interested in my church. I'm on the board of Abilities First. It's a nonprofit organization in Middletown that helps provide services to differently abled children, various treatments and therapies, those kinds of things, and have been involved in that for a number of years.
He's helped build and plot out many different buildings and structures throughout the entire state of Ohio and into Kentucky and beyond. But for me, his co-chairing the capital campaign to build Atrium Medical Center stands out as a crowning achievement. And we're very proud to work with him and also have him as a member of our board.
But when I get free time, I like to spend it with my family mostly. I have a lovely and supportive wife who I enjoy hanging out with. We have 5 kids, we have 13 grandkids, all of them are local, get a chance to do the grandpa thing, going to sporting events and various, I got a couple of grandkids that like to do the theater, and so we go to various productions and plays and kind of generally hang out.
Well, I know Jim, at the previous firm he was at, he felt, you know what, I think I can do this, I know I can do this better than who he was working with at the time. And that's kind of what made him strike out on his own and found the Kleinger's Group and has led to a successful business operation for now up to 30 years.
I think his integrity and his character spilled over and ultimately inspired him to make this company a lot bigger and brighter. And he's been always open to others' ideas and trying to incorporate them to make the business better.
Jim helps first with no expectation of any return. So that's something that I've seen Jim just in his daily interactions with anybody, with anything. He always has that offer of value, offer of help.
I would encourage young people that are thinking about being in business to dream big. and the dreams are possible, and to follow your dreams. They're hard, and you got to do the things that are required to make them come true. But with perseverance, willingness to work hard, and be true to yourself and be true to those around you, I think that those are great opportunities.
He is making an impact in each person's individual life. Just the way he interacts with someone, the way they come away feeling that they're important, they're able to contribute, and he opens their eyes into the world of possibility. And that's a lasting impact that he makes in so many people's lives and so many organizations that he's involved in.
He's a team player, he's a listener, and he is someone who delivers on his promises. He's truly a good soul.
Would you all please join me in welcoming our second 2023 Hall of Fame laureate, Jim Kleingers, to the stage tonight. Presenting Jim's award is David Wright.
Thank you, everybody. My name is David Wright, and I'm the engineering director at Kleingers, the Kleingers Group. I'm extremely honored to be able to introduce Jim Kleingers. I've known Jim for over 25 years. Together, we've designed a lot of sites, drank a lot of Trenton Pops, and had a lot of classics at Bob Evans for breakfast in the morning. So on the video, you heard the words character, integrity, caring, positivity, and optimism. And all of those things describe Jim incredibly well. You know, I've been asked in the past at various, events to describe Jim's leadership. And I think the easiest way to put it is like this. When you go to a training seminar and they ask you to close your eyes and think about that one leader in your life that's influenced you the most and think about those characteristics, well, for me, that's Jim. Jim's a very humble man that's achieved great things through being a servant leader and doing the right thing at all times. That's certainly a motto at our company, and it's all from Jim and his characteristics and who he is. He's dedicated his life towards serving others. He's often said to me, Dave, life's kind of weird, If you help enough other people get what they want, then you'll eventually get what you want. And he lives his life that way. Jim has certainly done that through his personal life and in volunteering in his community. There's all kinds of FOJ, Friend of Jim projects out there that we've gotten to work on from his relationships and his dedication to his community. No introduction of Jim Kleingers can be complete, however, without mentioning his family and his love for his family. Jim and Mary Jean have been married for 42 years. And Mary Jean, clap, clap to Mary Jean. Thank you. And never has a more perfect match been made. Together they have 5 kids and 13 grandkids, and their love and relationship has been something that's been of an inspiration for us at Kleingers to be able to observe for all of those years. And so finally, I'll say again, I'm very honored to be able to present Jim with this award. And on behalf of the 170 employees at the Kleingers Group and everyone sitting over there at that table, I'd like to say thank you, Jim, for your friendship, your leadership, and mentorship. And Jim, we're very glad that you're here. So congratulations.
You can present him the award. Thank you, Dave. Wow. Thanks, Dave. I do appreciate that. This is really quite an honor for me to have been selected to enter into the Greater Butler and Warren County's Business Hall of Fame. along with these three other laureates this evening who are very impressive, accomplished, and deserving individuals. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the back of the program. There's of the past laureates. That's an extraordinarily impressive list of people who've made significant contributions here in the county and the region, really. And it's quite humbling for me to have been considered and selected. So thank you for that. I'm honored to accept this award on behalf of all of those people who have helped me along the way. Many of them are here tonight. I am shocked by the number of them here tonight, and thank you all for being here. The way I kind of think about this, success, at least to me, is a little bit of a team sport. And I have to acknowledge that many others deserve to share in this recognition this evening. I've benefited from the help and guidance of so many people, including, teachers, mentors, colleagues, all my coworkers, clients, friends, family. I have to mention my Vistage people. Vistage people, thank you for coming out here this evening. It is wonderful to see you all here. Thanks to all of those who have joined me on this journey. I'm not going to name lots of names because I understand we only have 4 minutes. So anyway, there is the one person, though, that I would like to thank by name, my lovely wife, Mary Jean. Dave mentioned something about her and being married for 42 years. It's been 42 wonderful years. She's been a devoted partner, has been very supportive of my community service efforts, and I am really grateful for that. I did want to share that she has a special connection to JA. I don't know if the folks here at JA for the thing here this evening are aware of that, but she has been a volunteer as a JA program classroom teacher for a long time with one of our elementary schools in Middletown. 25 years? You've been doing this for 25 years or so? I know COVID's kind of messed this up here the last couple, but she has seen the value of JA live and in person, and can vouch for the value that's being delivered by the program, and it's really wonderful. Briefly, I wanted to share that I've discovered that I kind of have a special affinity or connection with JA as well. I know that JA encourages young people to believe in the possible. I do too. I spend a lot of time, we have a daughter and 4 sons, and sometimes they get a little tunnel vision, and I'm always telling my youngest, Joey, consider the possibilities here, buddy. Something bad's going on, he's all nervous about it. Hey, there's possibilities here. I do that as well. I know JA works to empower the next generation and provide young people with the knowledge and skills they need to own their own economic future and success. They want to plan for their futures and to make smart choices in life. I believe that too. And I try to, the things I do, I try to improve lives through education and encouragement of young people through a number of the things that I do, particularly scouting. My life's been filled with many opportunities, and I do believe in the possible. I have taken the Clifton Strength Finder survey. I think David mentioned this, and I think Tim mentioned it as well. My number one strength is positivity. I am positive to a fault. Sometimes it works against me. At work, it's kind of like, hey, I know this is going to work. This is going to work. We just have to work at it harder. He's like, let's go somewhere else. Let's do something else. So sometimes, you got to take that. But I know that good things happen if you approach life and work with focus, hard work, persistence, and a caring heart. I believe in service to others. It's truly better to give than to receive, but, well, frankly, in this case, I'm grateful to receive this honor and thankful to those of you who chose to honor me in this way. Lastly, thank you to the Junior Achievement of OKI Partners for offering recognition to business and community leaders like me for the last 30 years. Our company is celebrating our 30th year in business this year, and I hope this recognition of our work and our service inspires others to make enduring contributions to improve where they live, work, and play. William Arthur Ward said, If you can imagine it, you can achieve it. If you can dream it, you can become it. Wonderful words, and I thank you so much for this award. Thank you.
When I think about Sandy Sanders, I think about integrity, hardworking, and someone that you can trust. Sandy presents kind of as a little soft-spoken from time to time, but I think you'd be mistaken if you take that for weakness. He truly is a strong, committed leader, both in his business practice and in his community involvement. Over the years, I've seen him become much stronger as an advocate for his positions and much stronger as a community leader.
Sandy went to school at Notre Dame and then graduate school, Purdue University in aeronautical engineering. So he converted that to running a family business here in Hamilton, Ohio, Butler County Lumber.
When he retired, he jumped into community engagement, and I first got to know him best on the Hamilton Community Foundation Board and more recently on the Open Door Food Pantry Board.
I think if you start with Sandy's involvement with Butler County Lumber, I think that was a great asset to our community. It was a local supply store that contractors and individuals could use to improve the community, and not only the business aspect of it, but also knowing members of the community and being an engaged leader in that area. So that was kind of the first area was in his business work with Butler County Lumber. But then again, as his volunteer work, both with the Hamilton Community Foundation, with other organizations, Open Door Food Pantry, Butler County Philharmonic, numerous organizations that Sandy's been involved with. And because of his involvement, they've been stronger, more successful organizations.
Sandy's passion is for his family, but I believe his favorite activity is cycling.
He's made several trips all over the country.
He frequently texts me or calls or emails to answer questions after he's biked up a mountain or been on the road for hours biking. He bikes miles that most of us would consider unimaginable.
The first word I think of when I think of Sandy is solid. He's just a solid human being, both in business practice, in interpersonal relationships, in caring for people. He's a very solid leader.
Dependable, loyal, and he gets the job done.
In his involvement with the Community Foundation, he's had to deal with lots of really complex community issues, and sometimes people can be a little overwhelmed by that. What Sandy was able to do was to kind of cut through all of the madness and get to the really important part and decide how we should move through it pretty quickly. And I think he's compassionate. I think he really cares about other people and cares about the community. And I think that came through in his many years of service at Butler County Lumber and in his involvement in the community since then.
He has served on virtually every committee at the Open Door Food Pantry. He's been on the board for, I believe, just over 10 years. Served as chair. He single-handedly runs the annual concert, which is our biggest fundraiser. He's a quiet, unassuming leader who makes every member feel like a valued part of the team.
Sandy's lasting impact and legacy would be having the family business continue to run and be successful within the family. He showed all of us the hard work and determination, honesty to keep this company going when he was president.
Sandy has brought his strengths to the community by serving on numerous boards, by being involved in groups and committees throughout the community, and being an advocate for getting positive things done throughout the community. I think he's done this for a number of years, and even though he's retired now, I think he continues to do that. And I suspect that he'll continue to do that for years to come.
And we hopefully continue third, fourth, maybe even fifth generation.
Would you please join me in welcoming our third laureate for 2023, Herman Sandy Sanders, to the stage tonight. Presenting his award are Kimberly Korth and Scott Sanders.
Good evening. My name is Kimberly Korth, and this is my brother, Herman Scott Sanders. First and foremost, we want to express our sincere congratulations to all of the Junior Achievement awardees tonight. And on a more personal note, for us, Scott and I have been given the honor of introducing Herman R. Sanders. Many of you know him formally as Herman, or more personally as Sandy, but we call him Dad. I knew this was going to happen. You just witnessed some of his many accomplishments while supporting his business and community. But what many of you may not know is that this same dedication and effort that he puts towards society is concurrent with the same energy he gives to those in his life he cares for, including his wife, his children, grandchildren, extended family, and friends. Our father has built a legacy founded on integrity, hard work, perseverance, and an unending love and support, regardless of whatever else was going on in our lives at the time. He has taught us the value of working hard for what we want to achieve, and he continues to help us see on a regular basis that giving to others is an important value to uphold. Now that we both are adults with our own spouses and families, it is even more apparent how much we can attribute our beliefs and core values to those that were instilled within us throughout our childhood. Thank you, Dad, for being an integral part of shaping our values and beliefs so we can continue to teach these principles in our children.
I remember a time back when I was 8 years old, and Dad and I went out to purchase our first family cordless phone long before the cell phone. So we went to the old Steinberg's electronics store in Hamilton. There were 2 models, and I wanted the one with the extra features, and Dad said no, we didn't need those. The way the old Steinbergs worked is that you would first make your purchase, and then they would bring it out from the back all wrapped up. So it wasn't until we were driving home in the car that I realized they had accidentally given us the phone with the extra features, and I remember thinking, how did we get so lucky? And I let Dad know. But Dad didn't say much. He calmly turned the car around, and we drove back to the store, and we exchanged the phone for the correct model. I remember thinking at the time that he was just doing this to teach me a lesson, and he was. But thinking back years later, it's amazing how that small act of honesty affected me at that young age, and how it also influences how I raise my now 5-year-old son.
Our dad can be described by many words, but a few we would choose in particular include selfless, giver, provider, and supporter. Tonight, we are honored to introduce Herman Sandy Sanders for this special award, and we are proud to call him Dad.
Thank you. I am humbled and honored to be recognized by Junior Achievement tonight, and I congratulate my co-laureates, Don, Jim, and Jill, for their contributions to their professions and their communities. Family is very important in my life. My wife, Ingrid, who is here tonight, has been my sounding board and kept me grounded over the years. My children, Kim and Scott, whom you've just met, continually challenge me to adapt my thinking and values to this ever-changing world. When I returned to the family business in 1979, my father told me to keep in mind that when business is going well and you're making money, it's nice to be on your own. But when the business has some challenges and some hard times, it's nice to have partners to share with. Well, I am thankful that I have had the comfort and joy of working with family partners, my brother Mike, and my cousins Tom and Mark, at the Butler County Lumber Company for 31 years. It has been special to share the ups and downs with them. I also express my appreciation to all the individuals whom I've had the privilege to meet and learn from over the years. in the organizations in which I've been involved, including the Open Door Food Pantry, the Hamilton Community Foundation, and my church, to name a few. They have taught me so much, and still today, at the young age of 75, I'm still learning from them. And yes, as you may have surmised by now, riding a bicycle is one of my favorite leisure time activities, having done it for 50 years. It is quite enjoyable for me to cycle through the countryside for 3 or 4 hours at 15 miles an hour, accompanied only by the potholes, the cars, and the dogs. In closing, I wish to recognize the real heroes tonight, the volunteer and staff of Junior Achievement, who spend their time preparing today's youth to fill some of the seats in the future that we now sit in tonight. They deserve our support and our appreciation. Thank you for sharing the evening with us.
If I had to pick 2 or 3 words to describe Jill: thoughtful, empathetic, dedicated.
Jill is very principled, so she really cares about her faith. She cares about the people that she's been blessed to lead and serve, and those that are serving those.
Jill is passionate about her career. She was a certified public accountant that consulted with retirement communities. And she said to her boss at the time, if I'm really going to understand this, I need to go ahead and be in a nursing home, learn how to be a nursing home administrator. So she went through that training.
She went back and got her administrator license and then continued on both the financial side of the ministry, but really that love of people, love of serving God's children, I believe is what inspired her to continue on in the career.
Jill has a strong but compassionate leadership style that she uses to lead all the partners in Otterbein. We call our employees partners, but also she challenges the board to try and improve how we provide care to the seniors. As an example of that, as we came through the pandemic period, when it first hit, obviously we're dealing with a lot of people that are maybe in a vulnerable thing. She quickly put together a plan and put it in effect using her leadership team so that we were able to not just combat, but prevent the spread of COVID, to the point that we became the leader of that in Ohio and the area.
She would never turn off her phone. She was on duty 24/7. She wanted to be notified when there was an outbreak in one of her 20 locations. She wanted to be notified if somebody passed away, and she grieved for every one of them.
I believe the main influencers for Jill's life and success has been her relationship with God, her father, who ran his own business and so taught her a lot of business principles.
Her father had a small manufacturing business, and he taught her a lot of things about that, not just the finance or the inventory or marketing or whatever. What he said was the most important thing was to concentrate on the people, because the people will either make or break your business. So through that, she learned those fundamentals and the people thing that has helped the organization grow and provide better care to the seniors we serve.
He taught her that if you're going to do a good job, it's not easy, but if you care enough, if you prevail enough, you will be successful.
Jill took a good organization and has made it greater. I want to say I'm proud to be associated with Otterbein and particularly Jill. She's a great person.
Jill has been successful because she loves what she does. She's been successful because she's competent at what she does. She brings an amazing combination of the business side, making sure everything works, along with the compassionate side of wanting to care for elders and free them from institutional care.
Jill's legacy is that we are blessed to serve God's children. and that we want to serve them in the way that works best for them, to give them choice. And so she has really led that for our company and really for the long-term care industry and many boards or advocacy groups she works on, that elders have a right as children of God to choose how they want to live in this last important phase of their life. And that's something I'll always hang on to as I think about Jill and her legacy.
It is my pleasure to welcome our fourth and final 2023 Hall of Fame laureate, Jill Wilson, to the stage tonight. Presenting Jill's award is Shelby Gumpf.
Hello, everyone. I'm honored to be here tonight to introduce the next inductee. I first met Jill roughly 32 and a half years ago when she brought me into this world. I didn't realize this at the time as the fact that I was a newborn baby, but I spent the next 32 and a half years understanding that I won the lottery that day with being blessed with Jill as my mom. Of course, all moms are superheroes, but her recognition today proves that I'm not the only one who views her as such. I've spent the last 32 and a half years watching my mom work tirelessly and selflessly in support of the community that she represents at Otterbein. Ever the mama's girl, I was her shadow growing up. I spent much of my childhood at Otterbein. She brought me along to have dinner with the residents, to trick or treat at Otterbein with the residents. Sick days spent there watching her show care for her community and the people that she represents. And even up to through college when I was an intern at Otterbein and got to I tried to be anonymous, but people were able to pick up on the fact that I was her daughter by the fact that we look very similar. But it was always amazing to hear her impact and what a great, how highly everybody thought of her. Her advocacy and care has always created a positive impact on the surrounding communities as well. I'm so very proud to be her daughter and honored to introduce her as she accepts this award. Thank you.
That's my girl. All right. Thank you, Shelby. Shelby's here with her fiance, Ben Brown. They're getting married this year. He's right there. And I want you to know a thing or two about her. She, in her own right, is a great businesswoman. She's a realtor and a vice president at CBRE in the Columbus market. And she is, take note of this, a multi-year top 10 producer for her region. Smoking, right? But if she wants to come to work at Otterbein, we've got a spot for her. I would like to as well congratulate my fellow inductees, Don Crane, Jim Kleingers, and Herman Sanders. I mean, just being on the same list, albeit last on the list, is really a great honor. It really is. And I truly am humbled to be amongst this group tonight. Junior achievement is awesome. Weren't the two young women that were up here incredible? And that's why we're here tonight, right? We're here to support an incredible mission. And I want to recognize Jeff Taylor, the CEO, and Katie Nicely. Where's Katie? You can't see her. She's awesome job, Katie. It's all coming together great. Well done. Well done. Let's listen to the purpose again. Oh, I want to also thank the selection committee and the Board of Junior Achievement. Let's listen to the purpose again inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy, right? The programs, work readiness, entrepreneurship, financial literacy. And, you know, Haley, my gosh, she's like figuring out how to sell pregnancy monitoring. Isn't that amazing? And, you know, JA has come a long way, because when I first became familiar with JA, it was when I was a young person living in my household, and my brother, who's there, Scott Ebersole, he was in JA. Now, he sold T-shirts and did a great job at that. And I don't know for sure if there's a correlation between his JA experience, but Scott Ebersole, my brother, his company celebrated 30 years in business last month. So congratulations to Scott. Right on. Let's see. The video, oh my gosh. I cannot thank the participants in the video enough. I'm shaking just thinking about the kind words that were shared. But I have to say it's time for Back at You. Lois Mills, she's here with her husband Roderick right over there. And I want you to know that Lois, she's somebody who has cred, right? I've heard that term, credibility. She's a Stanford grad, an engineer by trade turned human resource extraordinaire. She worked for world-class companies, GE, Johnson & Johnson, high-ranking positions. Lois Mills could have gone anywhere with her credentials, her drive, her ambition, and her value system. But she came to Otterbein. She came to Otterbein and has spent almost 14 years doing God's work. And I could not be more grateful that Lois made that choice. Mel Miller, sitting right here with his wife Jeannie. Mel is a businessman as well. He owned a commercial and industrial construction company. He knows how to do business. He has been involved in Otterbein for a long time. He's been the board chair since 2015, and we have been through a lot. When Mel started as the board chair, Otterbein had 12 operating entities across the state of Ohio. Today, Otterbein has 23. Mel has presided over a lot of growth and a lot of change and a lot of investment. And many of those changes really challenged the status quo about how older people should live out their lives when they need care and support and love. And he was leading that charge. But he, and I want to say Jeannie because I feel like I got the team, the Miller team. They, during COVID, were an absolute godsend when it came to supporting me, but the greater Otterbein community. An absolute godsend, and I'm really grateful to both of you for that. And then there's Steve Wilson, the other actor in my video. I guess I should say State Senator Steve Wilson. Many of you know him. Steve, I would guess that you're feeling pretty philosophically aligned with junior achievement, right? I mean, after all, he was the author of Senate Bill 1, which went into law, and is known as the financial literacy law. And it ensures that every student in high school in the state of Ohio will be taught the basics, the basic financial skills to be successful in life. That's pretty awesome, pretty awesome. Yeah. You know what he's working on now? He wants to make sure that every student in high school in Ohio learns about capitalism. Capitalism. right? In addition to socialism and communism. Pretty good idea, right? And I have full faith you'll do that. He's not bad looking, and he also is a former Junior Achievement Laureate. So I noticed in the video that it seems like maybe I talk about my dad a lot. And yeah, people are nodding, Dad. And his business, right? And it's true. My dad and mom are right here, Lowell Ebersole, Carol Ebersole. And I would sort of describe them, they wouldn't think this, but my siblings are all here. Power couple, right? They are a power couple. And in 1978, they made a decision to risk everything, right? They put a second mortgage on a house that still had 5 of their kids in it to start a business, and have been incredibly successful in that business, making office furniture, right? So all us kids, we all worked, and they're my siblings, my sisters are over there, you met Scott. We all worked in the business, right? And I got my first job cleaning the johns in the plant. And, you know, you might think, oh, it probably wasn't the best job, and, you know, some days it wasn't. But I learned an enduring lesson in life. Deodorize, sanitize, and disinfect, right? For sure. And, you know, Mom and Dad, they were very successful in their business. And, you know, Dad, he was a salesman. Always a salesman, right, Dad? And so he had a lot of sayings. My siblings know this. My daughter knows this. My grandchildren have probably heard this. And certainly others have heard this. Daddy says, when you wake up in the morning, another day in which to excel. Daddy says, when evaluating opportunity and risk, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? Daddy says, always, cash is king. Cash is king. And I didn't know at the time. I'm pretty sure Dad didn't know it, but he was preparing me for life in business. He was. And, you know, I hooked up with Otterbein, and here I am. Here I am. Can you believe it? And, you know, business has been good. It's been good for me. It's been good. But, you know, it's not actually always. I mean, I feel like I should share this since I'm getting inducted into the Business Hall of Fame. It's not always been good. It hasn't always been good. Actually, it wasn't good when I thought I had to be the smartest person and have all the answers. You know, it wasn't good then. Be the smartest and have all the answers. And actually, I'm not the smartest, and smart is like a huge stretch on most days. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But I would say, you know, that I am capable of learning. And what I learned over time is that if you can create an environment where smart people can come together and work as a team about things they are passionate about, they'll give you the answers, right? Right? Smart people working together as a team, doing things that they are passionate about, the answers will come, and business will be good, right? And at Otterbein, business is good. Business is good now. And so I want to say very humbly that I'm a product of that thesis. And the smart people, many of them are here tonight. Where is Kim Monifo? Right there. Everybody look at that table right there. Gary Horning, Jason Miller, Jeff Comet, Lynette Jagels, Cheryl Soule, Kathy Chavarro, Dan Arnold. Yeah. Smart people working together, the passion, answers, right? And as I stand here today, there are smart people at Otterbein working now in the same vein. They're providing care, they're preparing meals, they're deodorizing, sanitizing, and disinfecting, right? And that's what makes business good. So I would just like to say that on behalf of these smart people, I humbly accept this award on their behalf, and I want to say thank you for all that you have done for me and for all that you have done for our organization and our community. I'd also like to say thank you for my family who's here tonight, supporting me steadfastly. I am a better person because of my family. And I want to lift up the two grandchildren that are here, Taylor Wilson and Brooke Roll. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you very much.
I think you'll all agree with me. We had a remarkable group of laureates. One last time, congratulations. Once again, I'd like to thank tonight's sponsors and to each of you for supporting junior achievement through the Greater Butler and Warren counties. It is my pleasure to share tonight that tonight we have raised more than $44,000 to support the programs of junior achievement in Butler and Warren counties. It's not too late to give more. Please remember there's an envelope, but again, thank you for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Drive safe tonight and have a great evening. Take care.